We're live.
Good
Welcome.
morning.
Happy Friday. Welcome to Kat's Home Chat, where we try to bring you informative nuggets from experts all over really the world. We've had guests from Rome, Italy, to share with you whether you're selling or dwelling. And today's guest, who I'm going to officially introduce in a second, is going to share with us her expertise, training, and just magic that she brings in her passion for window treatment. So if you're looking to either update what you have, or maybe you're looking to update a home to sell it or to dwell in it, or you've never had window treatments and you're just bamboozled with all of the selections. Should I go with shutters? Should I go with blinds? What should I do? Melody's going to answer those questions for you today. If we haven't met, I'm Kat Trelinos with Ta-Da by Kat, Next Level Staging and Design. And thank you for sharing the next 25 minutes with us. You'll be able to see this on YouTube, on our YouTube channel in the next 48 hours, where this will be our 51st episode. So joining me for our 51st episode, please welcome Melody Rea from Melody Rea Interiors. Or is it just Rea Interiors?
Well, my grandmother's rolling over in her grave, but it's Ray.
I'm so sorry. Ray, I know it's Rea. Sorry, Grandma.
It's okay. That's why I
Rea, tomato. But here she is, my lovely, lovely, talented friend. Welcome, Melody.
Hi,
from Austin, Texas.
Thank you for that lovely introduction.
Well,
a little allergy this morning, but I'll try.
Yeah, I've got my lemon that the Hubs makes me so I don't get garbled. So before we get into some great nuggets, and I know you have a lot to share with our viewers today on window treatments, tell us a little bit about how why do you have a passion? Let's talk about that, because I know you have a broad background from interior design, started out in theater. You love the theater, and that kind of segued into, you've dabbled in staging, and of course you love color. You would have to be in window treatments, but what lights you up about window treatments?
I think I'm in, I'm out. Doing retail interior design was lovely, but as I get older, especially, I can come in and dazzle and razzle dazzle the room with fabrics and wonderful things that the client's not thinking of when they're seeing all the sheetrock dust and construction site thing going on.
I love that.
I come in with this Band-Aid with bling and also, of course, very common sense products such as shutters and shades and motorization.
And that's where all the decisions come, right? And I want to read something you wrote on your bio, and that is, because I love this, a good window treatment adds style, but a great window treatment becomes a part of your home's architecture. So, styling a window can be a great challenge, particularly when you're trying to pull it all together. So, as you know, I do design and staging as well. Where in the process, Melody, because I've learned a lot from you on the design side, where in the process do you recommend coming up with the solutions for window treatments? Like, what step is that?
Hopefully early on. I mean, even
early
if
on.
1 hour consultation or 20 minutes to talk. And of course, if I'm involved with you as the designer and I'm the window treatment specialist on that level, then get me in as soon as possible, because then I can help you with the dream. I can help you with the budget. I can, because let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, shutters are expensive, but they're part of the house. They stay with the house. They have no business leaving the house. But with shades, maybe you could take them, not necessarily. Everything custom on the inside of the window pretty much stays, right? Nothing fits some other house unless you're just very lucky, like I get lucky occasionally. But draperies, panels, things you can just go bump, 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 I'm taking those. to the next home, and maybe I'm adding 3 or 4 widths. So I always encourage my clients to go deep in volume of fabrics and panels so that they can just put it in the closet, hang it on a little hanger, plastic, and then they can come back, and if they move or they're doing their lake home or tiny home, oops,
Now,
things.
what did you say? You encourage them to go what? Deep?
I encourage them to think on a larger scale. So if you like one fabric, then you may want to do 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 windows with it. And maybe you just change the top treatment, or you change the banding on it, or you give it, you shorten them, because I repurpose draperies all the time. I don't announce it because I don't advertise it. It's a pain in the rear. But at the same time, you've got this magical piece of fabric already made up, and then you repurpose it by maybe having your seamstress, not me, I don't sew, they pay me not to, but the workroom can repurpose it, redesign it. And I all over my house, I wish I could carry the camera to show you what it was before and after, and how I created something from leftover draperies.
And we're going to give your information because we try to keep this kind of chat and not slides and so forth, because we don't have that much time. But we're going to be giving Melody's information at the end of the show, and it'll also be posted on Facebook. Melody has offered herself. We may have an opportunity coming up. A design client of mine, and I will bring her in for the window treatments. She'll come to Houston. She loves Houston.
Love travel. Have my measuring tape.
Right. And I imagine do you do virtual consultation also, Melody, or no?
I've been forced into it this year. And I'm kind of digging it because it's fun, and then I can not have to wear shoes, things like that. But yes, of course I have. And
yeah, I call it you don't have to charge I borrowed this from Joanne Lynette Weary. She says, she calls it put on my bra fee. You don't have to charge a put on my bra fee.
Well, I tell you what, she should write the one-liner book, because I'd buy it.
Right. Exactly. So talk to us about, what are you seeing on trend today? Because we're going to spend a couple minutes, maybe towards the end, after you've shared a few more of your nuggets, on how to very easily update a space if you're living in it or if you're looking to sell it. But what are you seeing today in 2021? What are the trends? Are you seeing anything changing or leaning towards something different than we've had before?
Because I've been in it so long, and I've gone from the swag cascade era, jabos, all the traditional 18th century, all the way now to just simple panels. Probably the trend would be more of a something where it's very clean, like a cornice, or of course valances can become cornices. It's just how you build them. And cornices are $40, $50 a running foot. So you got to be careful when you say, oh, let's put a cornice up there. Just say, let's put a top treatment up there, because what you're going to do at the end of the day is you're going to be spending that client's money. And so when you're looking at a room, also take in the fact that the house has a lot to do with it. And we're seeing so much modern, but that's going to go away. I'm sorry, but it is. Transitional will start to come in again, and traditional will always be there in certain parts of the world. But right now, what I'm seeing in Austin, Texas, which is huge epicenter for just being cutting edge of people wanting to get in, every house I'm going into, and every stager or designer that brings me in says to me, I want drapery. She doesn't. And at the same time, I say, well, make them think they want it, because when you're walking in the room and you're seeing nothing on the windows, it's cold. You see your neighbors, you see uncut lawns. Talk to them about layering. And even if it starts out with a shade, a motorized or an unmotorized shade, get them into cordless. Start pushing them towards the automation. That's the best way.
Automation is key. And I think I told you, when we redid our home, we have 6 windows in the eat in breakfast and another 2 that all, you see the sight line. So we did just that. We wanted to see the beautiful trees. And again, you have to think about what what is it that you see outside? If it's a fence, a neighbor's fence, maybe you don't want to bring the outside in as much. In our case, we were missing out on beautiful oak trees because we had big, heavy cornices. Now we have just white shades, nothing. When they open up, when they're motorized, we see the beauty of the backyard. Now, from a design perspective, you mentioned something that's key. When you're selecting window treatments, it's an organic decision, because you need to think about with your designer and or yourself, what is the feeling that I want? What is outside? What are the fixed elements? Because in my case, I could go, I painted my house highly reflective white. That would be very austere if I didn't have a lot of color, but I have bold colors in my home to pop and be accented against that white. So I think for window treatments, that's an excellent point. You need to kind of decide what is the feeling and what else is in the house and what's outside.
I'll tell you what's more fun than chocolate, and that's hard to equal, right? Dark chocolate.
Dark, yeah.
It is architectural things. Things like this, where you just come in and you make this the top of your window, or you can do something magical.
Those first two you pulled, we just bought about 10 of those for one was for a design client to create a headboard.
Mm-hmm.
But they're long. Yeah, I love that. That's great. Yeah.
That's kind of this. And you can get it painted in any color. Now, what makes that so great is it can screw in, and it can also go on the outside. So if you're doing a patio, that's fun too. But,
nice.
Stick with shutters. If you'll start with shutters, work your way into, or start with the roller shade. And then if they don't like that, then go into something more staid, like a Norman shutter. How great looking is that? Where are you? Anyway, that's a great look. What woman wouldn't want to be in that tub?
So let's talk about the shutters briefly. And this is where bringing in an expert like yourself can help. Because when I first did the front of my house in shutters years ago, I had a company come out, and I had no idea, I actually thought, and we're looking 10 years ago, I put the front of the shutters. I never thought I thought shutters were for a kind of a country look, until I went into a model home and I saw the, whatever they call it, not veinless, without the bar.
Oh,
what do you call that? Invisible. Now they charge you more for that. You'd think they'd charge you less. But the invisible tilt, 4-inch, has a sleek, clean look. It does not have a country look at all.
No, and you can get them painted. Come on, have fun with it, especially in your rooms that are yours. No one else, unless white is so fabulous. White is so, and I'm getting very color oriented. and I'll tell you the truth. When you look at a space and you can't decide whether you want white or you want ivory, ladies and gentlemen, just remember to look at the bones of the house and look if they're going to be painting it. And probably not if it's a new construction, because nobody wants to paint all the trim again. They've made that in advance. And try to match that.
Match the trim. So what she's saying is match the trim. Yeah. And that's your key, is just match the trim.
Unless you have a huge, tan, crazy stone fireplace that goes, and we do have that in Austin, that goes straight up to the ceiling.
Right.
Overpowering.
Right.
Part of the bones of the house. That's not going anywhere. Unless they spend $100,000 remodeling, and that's not the case, right? But I do have a cheat sheet, and I want to share this with you because I think it's something that every designer needs to have, whether she does window treatments or not. It's something I've used since I'm 12. And Charles C. Randall, everybody's seeing this at Barnes & Noble when they were just starting out in decorating. It's called Window Fashions. And what it is it's got everything that you ever looked at in your entire life in any house all over the world. And you can pull it out, and you can also blow it up on your computer. And
what's that called? What's that book called again?
Encyclopedia of Window Fashions. It's kind
Encyclopedia of Window Fashions.
The encyclopedia to the next step, which would
Yeah.
be, what do I show my clients? This is Pandora's box. So
Right. So most of our audience is probably not going to be designers. They're going to be homeowners. I don't know. Maybe we have a couple, but this would be great also for a homeowner, just to kind of get an idea. So when you're working with your decorator, your window expert, you can have an idea. Pinterest is another place that is great to pull ideas to show your designer or your window expert, so they can help you put your vision together on what you're trying to achieve. Because sometimes
so many visuals now.
Folks don't even know, what you call transitional, someone else might call traditional. And so this is, the old adage, a picture speaks 1,000 words.
Well, you're there to educate.
That's so true.
You're there to educate. You're there to give your clients a little bit of an education. There's no test after that, because that's why they have us. But if you can get them to understand, and then there's the eclectic mix, right? And here we go into mixing old and new, and that's my favorite because I'm a consignment queen. But another book I just want to share with you guys too is Jackie Von Tobel's. She is still alive. Hi, Jackie, if you're watching. Anyway, amazing. Deb Barrett and Jackie Van Tobel. Those are two key women that if you aren't following in the decorating, decorating and window treatments and bedding books, these ladies rock. Okay. And I know our little gal you mentioned earlier, the one that made the comments. We love her.
Yes, the bra. Hey, Joanne, if you're watching.
She knows who they are too. But Van Tobel and Barrett, Deb, and they used to be a team that would go to Europe twice, 3 times a year and take 20 designers with them. I haven't gone. I just don't have the 20 grand today, but I will. But those two women, they do their own podcast. I'm sure that I'd love to.
Well, back to Joanne, to give Joanne a plug, and I don't have, it's on my bookshelf here somewhere. But okay, so Joanne Lynette Weary, her little book, which I purchased at one of our design staging conferences, is a great little book. I've used it to create cheat sheets for my team to remind them how much space we need. If you're having problems, positioning your furniture, et cetera, which most people do. I walk in and the biggest thing I see is people shove everything up against the walls. But she's got cheat sheets in there for all of that, for window treatments, for spatial planning. It's like a little book you just need to throw in your purse and take with you.
It is. It's
you're shopping.
Another one is Grace McNamara. I love Grace. She would probably sit on the other throne next to Barb Schwartz. Okay.
Nice. Queen. Okay. So we got about 10 minutes. So I'd like to kind of zero back in. Those are great books. Thanks for sharing that with our audience. What tips can you give our clients, home owners, particularly not designers, some tips in what they should know, do or don't do when selecting window coverings? I know we mentioned, look at the elements, look at the fixed elements, look at what's outside. What are some things you've run across in your business that are just, big do's or don'ts, or just aha, moments that you'd like to share with our?
Well, don't pull anything off the windows till we get in, because even unless you're painting, of course, but try to take pictures of what you had before. It certainly can help the designer who's doing the window treatments see what you're used to spending, because once you arrive at that budget, come on, we can go so far. But if they say, oh, pennies, which is really expensive, but say I picked them up on the backside of Tuesday Morning's Table for $25.99, and I got 4 pairs, and you can tell they look like that. Sometimes you get lucky. But if I have to go back and remake those, ladies, we are spending some money. If I have to spend them, we are spending some money.
Sure.
And you're also wearing me out, so I'm not creative enough. But here's what you do. If you have some existing draperies or treatments that are on the window, take a picture, take them off, do your painting, and then call them. call the specialist. But the first thing you want to do, if you want to really cut through the chase, is get your width and lengths on the inside of the window. Because if you have a list of that, you can shop across the board. You can.
Great tip. So did you hear that? Measure the inside. Yeah, the inside of the window, not the outside, but the inside. That's a great tip.
Because honestly, just literally take a picture and then draw the width and the length of the inside mount, everything around it. And then the inside depth is huge, especially on shutters. You can hang a shut. By the way, you can hang shutters on the inside now. Yay. Who knew?
Right.
There's all types of different frames you can use now. Probably for draperies, people go, oh, it's standard. Nothing standard. So just get your width, length, outside mount, inside mount. Sorry, dog just got in the office. Go, Leroy. And other than that,
so everything's customized. And I think that's the message to get through. Everything's customized. And if you're a DIYer, Melody mentioned this earlier, but I think years ago, I bought some black and white swirl ready-made from IKEA, but they weren't custom length enough. So I bought charcoal gray fabric and had my seamstress make a panel this big. So one thing I've always read is take things higher. If your window is right here, take it to the ceiling or close to the ceiling if you can. It's going to give you a more luxurious custom look. Is that right, Melody?
So it's like a theater production. You want to go to the ceiling if you can possibly go. If there's crown molding, meet the crown molding. Give yourself ½ inch on the drop of the drapery, because you never, unless you want it to kiss the floor, there's 3 lengths: kissing the floor, ½ inch, which gives it a chance to sag because things sag, gravity pulls, and or puddling, which is just your very, very.
Is that popular anymore? I have a funny story about puddling.
And Joanne would chime in about now. It depends on where you are. If you're doing a B&B breakfast thing and you've got glamour and people coming in and out, if you've got dogs and kids running in and out, heck no. Bring those draperies up ½ inch. They're eventually going to settle down. And that you don't want to be cleaning them on the bottom as well.
Right.
Do not go between the windowsill and the floor and hang it in the middle. That is a no-no. Ladies and gentlemen, no. Come to the windowsill, which is a curtain, or go to the floor. As far as going as high as you want to, absolutely. But
what are you saying? Don't go in the middle of the window? Is that what you're saying?
Well, here you've got your windowsill, and then you've got your floor.
Yes.
Sometimes you'll walk in and someone will have them right here.
All the time.
It's an insult to the industry.
All the time. Yeah.
Floor, or bring them to the windowsill.
And if you do, ladies out there, if you do have it, it's okay. It can be corrected. I love corrected design, corrective staging. That's an easy fix.
Heard of Velcro?
If you love them, just add some fabulous coordinating fabric, have your seamstress or do it yourself. It can be corrected, but it does scream you bought it off the shelf and it doesn't fit.
Placement is everything. If it's butt ugly, then it's going to be butt ugly no matter what. But the way you place it and the way you drape over it, you can have cheap, fun shears underneath that you grabbed on a table at a sale. That's great. But what you want to do is you want to embellish it. And how you embellish it is the trick. And if you'll go take some of those books that I mentioned and start doing your homework, and also take a course. There's a great course out there. Deb Barrett teaches one right now. She's amazing. It's DEB Barrett. And also Vision Magazine teaches one. We have an international window covering show coming up. I'm trying to drag this woman with me to Fort Lauderdale, April of next year. And it's going to be 3 days.
And she's going to come back with us. I don't know if I'll be able to make it. You never know.
My
we'll put it out in the universe. Got to talk to the hubs on that. But there's certain things I have. No, it's just like making frames for my textile art. I have one of my team members do it. Expansive window treatments. I'll bring you in. I know what lights me up.
We all need
and dimensions don't.
the minute I don't think I need you, or you don't think you need me, or I don't need these people that write these books, I am just out in the middle of the ocean without a paddle.
Right.
And I honestly have to say that you guys make me look better because it makes me more creative. But I do, I get paid for high-end luxury. Doesn't mean I won't go in and do a house full of shutters. And I do, by the way, recommend faux shutters all the time because nobody knows that they're faux. So
Now, what do you mean by faux? Tell folks what is
uh,
faux.
chemically or scientifically, it's a blend of like an MDF a combination of wood and faux
Oh, okay.
particles. But it's wonderful because they
It's
don't
very
yellow.
durable.
They don't yellow, and you know the
It's
thing
very
about,
durable. I think that's what I have up, and I've had it for like 15 years.
and you can wipe them with water and not worry about
Yep.
warpage. Now, Norman, of course, does a wonderful finish for wood, but they also, they do the basketball thing where they put the helmet thing, and then but for as many holes as I've seen where kids have kicked the ball and broken the louver, and I've had to replace it, and it takes 6 weeks or however how long it takes for China or Dallas to ship it. By the time you've done that, you could have sold them that for probably $3 to $6 less a square foot. So
So
don't.
are
Um,
you running across, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you talked about timeline. Is it still taking, you know, X number of weeks for shutters? What with the whole supply chain being affected? Has that?
lately,
Yeah.
you need to
So
look
how
at,
long is it taking now?
well, 9 on a good day, 11,
Mhm.
which is what we started out with in 2000. But then we got down to like 8 weeks, which was wonderful.
Okay. Sure.
Now that's Norman. And then there's other companies that are built here stateside that I can do 6 weeks on, but that was pre-pandemic. So we're always going to add. I mean, cover yourself, because if you say 8 to 12 and you come in at 6, you're golden, right? I mean, your
Mhm.
clients just are talking about it. They're so excited. Or I just get a key and go in, right, and get it done while they're in Hawaii or wherever they are. But
Right.
most of my clients are designers right now, which is interesting because they don't really have time to do what I'm doing, and they don't
Exactly.
see. So they
And that's why, yeah, you wouldn't, coined that, it's like I wouldn't do brain surgery on myself. I dabbled in it and I'm like, oh gosh, no, this is too left brain for me. And I know there's a lot of right brain part of it, but I was small enough. It's like, no, that's not,
well,
that doesn't light me up.
I think the thing that we love as designers, and Kat, you know this, is the fact that we've seen them with and without. And without, you don't know any different. But when you've lived with it and you see it, and that's what you have to do with your clients. Take them shopping, take them through the internet, show them everything, because they're going to see it, they're going to get it. Um, and teach them how to take care of them, because every 4 years, take them down and take them to Coit. In Houston's Coit, I think. And
Mhm.
I know there's one here, I think Deep Eddy. And then we've got a couple different drapery cleaning places that do magical work. Do not take them to the dry cleaners. They just don't do a very good job, and you're going to be let down. Try to
So
take
that's a good tip that I have not heard.
it out.
So if you're out there and you've got some luxurious window treatments that you've had for a while and you're keeping them, don't take them to the dry cleaners. I wouldn't have known that. So you need to take them to a specialty drape cleaner, right?
If you do take them to the dry cleaners, take them to the dry cleaners. Don't put them in the laundry.
Oh, dry cleaners is okay, you're saying. Okay.
Well, yeah, but they're specialists. Like Coit
Yeah.
is in Houston.
They specialize, yes.
Betty is here. They also do rugs. They do it all. But they
Right.
come to the house. They take them down. They put them over their arm, and they take the dust with them. How about that? And then you can get in and clean like crazy. And then they come back perfect. And vacuum your draperies. Oh my gosh! Take that nozzle, girls, and get the vacuum going, because the dust is what's eating the fibers. It's a thing. Clothes, same thing, right?
Right.
Dust-free environment does not exist, not in my planet. But
No, as long as we live and have fans and come in and out and have fur babies. And I've got 4 fur
I will
babies
tell you
now.
probably the most exciting thing I'm doing right now is I'm going to be specifying string draperies, which
What kind
is
of draperies?
string draperies. And I looked all over for them, but they're my clients. But they're just, remember the strings that were nylon strings that you would put on your baton when you were a kid? Or, you would put on your, the bottom of a skirt. You were going to go to a party.
Like a fringe, kind of like a fringe.
Yeah. Well, it just comes on a little strip, and it just hangs off, and it can go 900 feet. That's too long, but it can go high. I'm specifying one for a 20-foot window.
Oh, you gotta share pictures with me when you get that. I would love to see that.
You could get them in bling. I'm doing these in white because we're doing white.
Yeah, white sounds very surreal. Yeah.
But it's a good time with that stuff because it's out there, and it's we see it when we go to great restaurants in New York or Denver. You'll probably see some, but they've been around a while. But
yeah, that sounds amazing. Well, we are coming up. You've shared so much great information, Melody. I know we could chat for the next hour and a half and wouldn't run out of things to talk about.
Well, you're going to put me in your suitcase to go to Denver, right?
I am. Honey, get that extra suitcase.
Tell Jeff, I'm a big girl.
So before we sign off here, what's the best way for folks to get a hold of you?
Melody
to get a consultation, or I know they can go on your website, which is... What is your website?
Interiors.com.
Melody Rea, REA, Melody Rea Interiors.com. You can go there, see samples of her work, etc. And what's a phone number to call you if they wanted to just pick up the phone? An old concept.
Yeah, Austin area code 512-657-5406. Again, 512-657-5406. I love to talk to you guys. I don't charge for consultations over the phone unless it goes into a Zoom meeting. And basically,
that's what we call a discovery call. So complimentary consultation.
And here's the thing: so much. You don't want me in there with your client the first 10 minutes. Just use my name. I'll send you my installer. He'll do all the measuring. He has a fee. Hey, come on. Has to pay for gas and lunch. And he'll measure everything. He'll give you the measurements and you can go shopping. But if you have that in your little paws, then you can do so much damage with pricing, especially with the internet. But I won't compare my prices to yours. I'll just say, here's what you're getting and here's what you could get. So this is
sure. And one last note on that, where you're comparing prices, et cetera. I found out actually from, I think it was a Norman rep, that they may carry, let's say Home Depot may carry something that says it's Norman, but they create it for Home Depot in a lower grade. There's no big mystery here. You pay for, you get what you pay for in this world.
Honestly, I don't mind people shopping me. In fact, I encourage it, but we do need to compare apples to apples. And
apples to apples.
Kat, if it's just a rental house and you're not going to have people worried about things like that, then go for the cheapest. But at the end of the day, if you're going to turn around and sell that house, those window treatments will probably help you sell it.
Absolutely. It depends on the price point too,
Forget it. You know this because you work with builders, right? I mean, we all have. They've been in this industry. When you're real quick point thing, which helps the homeowner, when you are building a home, have that builder roll in the shutters, because it's going to be 10, 20,000 easy. Maybe double that, depending on how big the house is. So, and then you're paying it through your principal or your interest or however that works in real estate. I am not a realtor. But
you can roll a pool in, you can roll blinds in. There's some caveat you may not be able to do outside, but good stuff. We're going to wrap up. I thank you, Melody, for taking time. I know you've had a busy, crazy week with some big projects you've been working on. But thank you so much for sharing with our audience. And this will be posted along with our other 50 episodes in the next 48 hours on our YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, it's Tada by Kat, TADABYKAT. And subscribe and hit that bell, because then you'll be notified when we upload new episodes and new information. And as always, I want to ask you to stay positive, stay hopeful, and stay connected. And thank you so much for connecting with Melody and me today. And we will have a replay next week, because we'll be off to Denver to the annual, which we missed last year, staging conference. And so we'll see you a week after that with a new guest who's going to share what's going on in the market come fall, and has it changed, and keep you updated on that. Thank you so much, Melody.
Thank you.
Maybe